It's becoming a more common problem. It's becoming a bigger burden to many churches. It's becoming an issue that will not go away. The facility is too large for the number of people who are coming. Most of the time, it's related to the worship center, but not always exclusively to the worship center or sanctuary. It's all over the place. I mean, it is in education buildings, it is in office buildings. We're going to be looking at that, and we've touched on it, but I just want you to hear that this is an issue of increased importance for so many reasons that we think we need to at least take a brief Church Answers podcast and dig into when your church facility is too large for the actual attendance. And rather than just say, here's the problem, we will offer solutions as well. We've got 4 of them coming up. Okay, you heard our sponsor. You heard about our good friends, Cheney and Associates. Thank you, Steve Cheney. And I just love having conversations with him. He is such an entrepreneur. And I get fired up every time I talk to him. Love the fact that Church Answers has this business relationship, but even more, we have a friendship. They are the accounting firm for the church. They've been around for 21 years. They have 1,100 church clients, cloud-based software. They can do your bookkeeping, your accounting. They can do your taxes. They are best in class. And they help small churches, church plants, mid-sized churches, large churches, and mega churches. Go check out our friends, Cheney and Associates. You'll see the link in the show notes, but it's cheneyassociates.com. It is a common problem, as I said. Your church facility is too large for the actual attendance. And it could be, what's the more common one these days is, oh, we built a facility of 600 and all we have now is 90 people in the worship service. It just feels so vacant. That's common. That's becoming common. Now, here's the reality. Many churches did overbill. It's not just declining attendance. That's a factor, and it's a major factor. But many churches did overbill. There was an indicator not too far, many years ago, but not too far back, where if you build it, they'll come. So build ahead of the growth. Well, many churches got way ahead of the growth instead of thinking stewardship. What can we do to most effectively use our facilities? And so now it has been exacerbated with the post-COVID decline and just general decline. Many churches are wondering, what do we do? We have this big facility. We have these other buildings that probably have deferred maintenance, and we don't even know what that number is. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. Let me recommend something. We have this incredible directory, the Everything Church Resources directory. And as you're looking for ways to find solutions to things, just download this free directory. And it has so many different resources. For example, if you go in there and you're looking for churches, firms to help you renovate your facility, you'll see Brown in there, our partner. And by the way, if you need help with any type of renovation, they do new buildings as well. They are a church design build firm, but they really understand renovations and how to reconfigure churches. Go to the show notes and look at Brown in there, but also look at our new directory, relatively new. It came out about 2 months ago, so it's relatively new. We're trying to list every church resource we know, and if you know of something we missed on, we have where you can send that information, and we'll update it every 6 months. And we have sponsors in there as well. We're already hearing from sponsors who are getting business as a result of having an ad in the Everything Church Resources directory. But back to my topic. My topic is, what do you do when you have too much space? Well, one of the first things that you need to do is to evaluate your deferred maintenance carefully. That sounds so boring. I mean, just coming out of my mouth, it sounded boring. What is deferred maintenance? Deferred maintenance means something's wearing out and you don't have the money. You probably don't have the money for it. It could be a roof that may have a life of 20 or 25 years, but you haven't been setting aside money to put a big, expensive roof back on. It may be air conditioned units. It could be just general painting, but you need to find out what your deferred maintenance is. In other words, when you really have to do something with them, how much is it going to cost? And ideally, you're setting aside money every year for these, and those would be deferred maintenance funds or maintenance funds. And so when it comes time to replace something, you have the money. Most churches are not there. So one of the first things you need to do is get a builder. Maybe you have a builder in your church. Get someone who understands facilities. Call up Brown. Mention them. They do a great job at that. They can even do much of the time they can do it digitally as well. And what I mean is you can take a camera and walk around with your camera, and they'll tell you where to go and what to look at. But that's another story. My point is, get your deferred maintenance number. It may scare you when you find out how much you have in potential upcoming capital or large expenses, but you need to know that, because you don't want to be surprised when something breaks or something falls apart or there's a leak, a major leak, and you do not have the funds to do anything about it. So number one, evaluate your deferred maintenance carefully. Number two, consider other ministries using your church. It may be other churches. I'm seeing more and more churches of a different ethnic or language background using using facilities together. It's an incredibly beautiful scene, and many times some groups don't mind meeting on Sunday afternoon or even Saturdays, but that means your building is getting more use. And most of the time, these individuals can afford something, and so they can help pay for the facility that you have. But even more importantly than the financial part of it is, you are now using your facility for greater ministries in your community. You may even see a new church start within your own facility. Maybe it's totally different from your church, so there's not like you are trying to push against your own congregation. You're just offering something that's different for a different time and a different opportunity. So consider other ministries like other churches that can share your facility and many times share your facility cost. Third, consider ministries in the community. Uh, Consider painting that room, that one room, paint it colorful. Go get some new types of stuff and tables and really colorful, and turn it into a birthday room for kids in the community. Uh, Make it as a free ministry and have some of your people be there. And just think about some of these parents. And I'm thinking about moms and dads, but I'm thinking in particular about single moms who may not have the ability, many of them, to have a big birthday party for their kids. Make that a ministry within your church. Hey, if you've ever said our church has too many old people, I've seen this multiple times. Reach out to single moms in the community, because you know what they bring to your church, and it shouldn't be for that motive, but they bring kids to your church, because that's why they are single moms, is because they are moms without a husband around and their kids there. I mean, just think of the things that you can do with your current facility. Consider doing community member ministries or family ministries within your church facility. Fourth, reconfigure your church worship center. It can be something that is as low cost is providing some type of dividers within your sanctuary or your worship center, or it could be a total remodel. I love what I've mentioned. Brown, our building partner, and mentioned him several occasions. They do a great job of telling you, this is, if you have this many square feet for your foyer and your worship center and you need to reduce it, we're going to make the foyer this size, always larger, and we're going to reduce the size of your worship center. They've done this so many times. They know their stuff. So that is a possibility as well. The reality of it is many church facilities are too large for actual attendance. So what do? You got to find out what your deferred maintenance is. Consider other churches or other ministries sharing your facilities and perhaps sharing your costs. Consider how you can do community ministries that are there, and they can come to your facility and you can use that for ministry purposes. And then call someone like Brown Church Development Group and get them to come in and say, this is what it'll take to reconfigure your worship center and your foyer, your welcome area, and to something much more useful that can be used much more beneficially in your church. This is a common problem. It will continue. It won't go away. So instead of despairing, let's see what God has given us in our creativity to do something about it. Hey, thank you all for being a part of the Church Answers podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, would you give us a thumbs up? Would you subscribe to the Church Answers channel? Thank you for doing that. Hey, wherever you are in your favorite podcasting app, give us a rating, review, and thank you for doing that as well. We want to get the word out. This is a free ministry. And if you can do a little bit of that to help us get the word out, we would greatly appreciate it. As always, thank you for being a part of the Church Answers podcast. We're here 3 times a week. and we will see you soon.